Had bad pork from Mart Tonkatsu about a year ago. Felt funky that day, so I decided I'm just gonna wind down and fall asleep early. In bed I still felt weird and my mouth starts viscously watering and I realize, am I gonna puke, and run to the bathroom. I vomited into the sink and my father heard this from his bedroom and asks if I just vomited and confirmed that to him. He gave me a trash cans near my bed just in case. 20 minutes later I use it. Then I need to use the toilet. I relieve that end of my body and try to lay back down. My stomach starts hurting, so I return and get through halfway on the porcelain pony, but I'm sweating and in a lot of pain and now laying on my side on the cold bathroom floor with my pants down and grabbing my stomach, groaning. I pull myself together and fix myself up, but then throw up a bit on the bathroom floor, missing the trash can a bit. I inform my father, who then starts work cleaning and tells me to just rest because I'm clearly extremely ill, but I need to go back, so I rush him out of my way under the threat of it coming out on him and I throw up my entire guts everywhere. I've seen a lot of weird things the human body can hold and I've never in my life seen so much fluid come from my stomach. It looked almost comical how much I vomited after having already vomited multiple times before this. I decided at the 4-hour mark of this that I do indeed need to go to the hospital, so we drive there with me holding a bucket to not ruin his car, but it ended up not being necessary. I felt sick still, but I think I was just empty at that point. The nurses patronized me at first in the ER like, "Oh, you have an upset tummy?" I mentioned I was a former EMT and they still kinda didn't give a shit. They gave me N4 and some anti-nausea medication in my bag itself. They started doing more and more work as they discovered I actually was in a bad way and the visit was definitely warranted. But then looked at my vitals and I had dangerously low blood pressure, super high heart rate, and basically no fluids in me at all. Put me in the PCU. Progressive care is where you put people who have a risk of crashing and is typical the floor below. The ICU. The ICU is where people get constant high-intensity care to stay alive. They told me very mother-like and calm, but I'd already worked in medicine and knew I was in bad shape. Not sure if they knew I speak their language too. They were shocked I wasn't reacting or freaking, and they even woke me up at night when I was supposed to be resting and asked, "Did you have nightmare? Are you nervous? How do you feel?" I just told them no, I feel like shit. She looked perplexed. So the nurse rushed to get the doctor. Like jogged out. She seemed like she was holding back some serious concern. Nothing came of it after they spoke outside my room. They saw my lactic acid levels and my blood pressure spike with a low heart rate, and I was about to cross 4.0, which is when sepsis and organ failure begins. 3.61 as I recall. 0.4 may sound like I have leeway, but considering that even from exercise, your lactic acid levels can jump almost a point. Set aside vomiting, which is much more physically intensive than actual exercise. Come to find out after they get me in slightly better shape by morning that I was basically knocking on death's door and I had hydration levels worse than people stuck in deserts. They didn't want to tell me to reduce any psychosomatic stress it may cause. I wanted to leave early cause I felt like I couldn't rest well in the hospital, so they begrudgingly let me go home on the promise that if I even feel like vomiting that I come back. I did finish my recovery at home in my own bed. I'm also grateful he cleaned up the mess I had thrown up in the bathroom as well. I didn't like pork before that very much, but now, I pretty much only eat pork if it's overcooked, and even then I avoid it. I also treat chicken the same way as collateral. It's really crazy that I was about to crash and essentially on the edge of death, but the entire time, I just felt like crap. I'm a spiritual person, although not overtly religious. Honestly, even from the most materialistic and nihilistic view of the world, people tend to want to reflect on things as they die. Yet, I was just laying there and thinking nothing but, I feel sick.